The real horror of Subnautica is not the Reaper Leviathan, the crushing darkness, or the possibility of running out of oxygen. It's the realization that this beautiful ocean has already survived the end of an entire civilization. And now, you may be carrying the same catastrophe inside your body. Subnautica begins with the destruction of the Aurora, a massive Altera spacecraft traveling through the region of space around the planet 4546b. The ship is hit by an enormous energy blast, breaks apart, and falls into the ocean. You play as Riley Robinson, the only surviving crew member we directly follow, launched away from the wreck in a damaged lifeboat. At first, the story appears simple: survive, repair your equipment, contact help, and get off the planet. But that straightforward objective gradually becomes impossible. Your communications are damaged. The Aurora is leaking radiation, and every potential rescue turns into another piece of evidence that 4546b is not merely an isolated ocean world. It is a quarantine zone. That is the first major idea in Subnautica. Escape is not actually the beginning of the story. It is the mystery at the center of it. Why was the Aurora attacked? Why can't anyone reach the planet? And what happened to the people who came here before you? The Aurora itself provides the first answers. Once the radiation is contained and the wreck can be explored, its scattered lobs reveal a desperate final mission. The crew tried to coordinate a rescue, but the ship's destruction killed almost everyone aboard. The wreck also contains blueprints and clues that slowly turn the Aurora from a disaster site into a doorway. Its technology allows Riley to build vehicles, diving equipment, and eventually the tools needed to reach deeper parts of the planet. But the more important clues come from the Degassi survivors. Before the Aurora, another human vessel had crashed on 4546b, the Degassi. Its survivors, including Paul and Bart Torgal, attempted to live on the planet and eventually moved into deeper and more dangerous regions. Their abandoned bases tell a smaller, more intimate version of the same story. They tried to control the environment, misunderstood the dangers around them, and were gradually destroyed by the planet. The Degassi logs matter because they prove that the ocean is not simply hostile in an obvious way. It is hostile through scale, isolation, and miscalculation. The survivors do not lose because they lack courage. They lose because every solution creates a new problem. A shelter attracts predators. A deeper refuge reveals worse creatures. A search for food turns into an encounter with something far beyond human understanding. And then comes the false rescue. Riley receives a signal from the Sunbeam, a ship attempting to reach the planet. For a moment, the story seems ready to deliver the rescue it promised, but as the Sunbeam approaches, an enormous alien gun rises from the surface and destroys it. This is the moment Subnautica changes genres. It is no longer just a survival story about being stranded. It becomes a story about containment. The alien structure is a quarantine enforcement platform built by an ancient species often called the Architects or Precursors. Its purpose is brutally simple: prevent anything from leaving the planet. The gun destroys incoming and outgoing spacecraft alike because 4546b is infected with the Kara bacterium, a disease capable of spreading across worlds. The player soon discovers that Riley is infected too. The symptoms are subtle at first, but the gain makes the implication clear. Survival is not enough. Even if Riley could repair the Aurora or build a rocket immediately, he would still be a biological threat. The quarantine exists for a reason. This is where the game's progression and its plot become inseparable. Every new tool allows Riley to go deeper, but going deeper also means getting closer to the truth. The alien facilities scattered across the planet reveal a civilization that spent centuries trying to contain Kara. They built laboratories to study it, power plants to sustain their installations, and the massive containment facility deep in the lava zones. But their research failed. The architects discovered that the Sea Emperor Leviathan was naturally immune to the bacterium and produced a substance called Enzyme 42. They captured one of these creatures and placed her inside the primary containment facility along with her eggs. The plan was to hatch the offspring and use their stronger enzymes to create a cure. Instead, the eggs remained dormant. The alien researchers could not understand what was preventing them from hatching, and their attempts to study the disease ultimately made everything worse. Kara escaped containment, the architects died or abandoned the planet, and the quarantine gun continued operating long after its creators were gone. That is the tragedy beneath Subnautica's spectacle. The ancient civilization did not lose because it was powerless. It lost because it treated a living ecosystem like a machine that could be dismantled and solved. The Sea Emperor was not simply a resource. She was a captive parent, trying to protect her children while communicating with researchers who could not understand her. When Riley finally reaches the Sea Emperor, she does not attack. She communicates telepathically and asks him to help her hatch the eggs. The solution is not another weapon or piece of advanced technology. It is an enzyme made from ordinary materials gathered across the planet. In other words, the cure was always part of the ecosystem. The aliens failed partly because they searched for an industrial answer to a biological problem. Once the eggs hatch, the juvenile Sea Emperors release Enzyme 42. They spread the cure through the surrounding waters, and contact with the enzyme cures Riley. With the infection gone, he can finally deactivate the quarantine enforcement platform. Only then is escape truly possible. Riley builds the Neptune escape rocket, launches from the planet, and watches 4546b recede into the distance. The ending is deliberately anticlimactic in the best possible way. There is no triumphant fleet, no rescued crew, and no civilization waiting to celebrate. There is only one survivor leaving a world that nearly killed him, and an automated reminder that, according to Altera, he may owe the company for the equipment he used to survive. Some players see this ending as too thin. The game leaves many story details inside optional logs, and its mechanics can contradict its narrative. You can spend hours building decorative bases while supposedly dying of infection. You can ignore the main story and explore the planet in almost any order. The finale can feel less like a dramatic conclusion than a checklist. Get cured, shut down the gun, build the rocket. That criticism is fair. But I think the sparse structure is also the point. Subnautica is about reconstructing meaning from wreckage. Its story does not constantly tell you what to feel because the ocean itself is doing the talking. Every abandoned base, alien ruin, and empty life pod is another failed attempt to impose control on a world that refuses to be reduced to a problem. Riley escapes not by conquering 4546b, but by understanding how its life works. The planet's cure comes from its creatures. Its history is preserved in its ruins. Its future depends on releasing what was imprisoned. So the ending is not really about leaving the ocean behind. It is about recognizing that survival and domination are not the same thing. The architects tried to control life and died in the process. Riley survives when he learns to cooperate with it. And that is why Subnautica's final image lingers, a tiny rocket rising from an endless sea, carrying one human being away from a planet that was never waiting to be defeated, only understood. For more videos like this, stick around, subscribe, and give the video a like. Thanks for watching. See you next time.